Hi everyone. Let's wait until well and to see if more people join this seminar. Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm here.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, hello. Well, I'm here. Sorry, I'm here. I'm Javier Zaragoza, and I'm the person who is going to. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the one who is going to present the this. Uh, the details of the call for proposals. So, but let's wait until, well, and see if more people like, let's wait 5 minutes and and we will start.
Okay.
Well, I guess we can start. More people registered than those that are here, but well, anyway, we should start and to have time for questions and so on. So let me share my screen. Okay. I guess you are watching. You are seeing the screen, and then let me put in
Yes.
the. Well, and now after this, I will share the presentation with you in the chat, and this is going to be recorded for the people that didn't join or didn't even register. So this is going to be recorded, but live interaction is only going to be possible if you are no, if you are here in the Zoom. So let's start. So this is the the last. Um, okay, so well, this presentation today is about the call for proposals that we have recently opened to observe with JPCam during 1 year. So it's the second part of the 2025 semester and the first semester of 2026. And I will explain the observing strategies that we have with JPCam. And now you will understand why we need observing strategies and the tools we have developed to help the users to observe or to design observations with JPCam. I guess most of you know, but in any case, we need to start from the beginning to present the observatory we have here in Teruel, which is the observatory where JPCam is. So it's the Observatorio Astrofísico de Javalambre. This observatory is part of or is included in the Spanish map of singular infrastructures. So the observatory offers at least 20% of the time in as open competitive time. The observatory is at, well, here is the world maps. So this is Valencia, which is the largest and closest city to the observatory, but the closest main city is Teruel, where we also have our main offices. So here is Teruel, and here is the observatory in a mountain where above 2,000, almost 2,000 meters above the sea level. And here we have two main telescopes that we offer in a competitive manner. The Javalambre Auxiliary Survey Telescope of 80 centimeters. This telescope has been offered several years already, and well, and people have sent their proposals to observe with this telescope, which is not the main topic of this talk. And then we have the Javalambre Survey Telescope, which is a 2.5 meter of diameter main mirror. And both telescopes are wide field, have a wide field of view and panoramic cameras installed. I will not talk much about, well, no, I'm not going to talk about the 80 centimeter telescope, the Javalambre Auxiliary Survey Telescope. I'm not going to talk about this one because it has been presented in the past several times. And I'm going to focus on the big or large telescope, which is the one where JPCam is installed. So the main characteristics is that the main mirror, it has a diameter of 2.5 meters, and the field of view has a diameter of 3 degrees. This is the most important features, and well, and it's an altazimuthal telescope. JPCam is installed here at the Cassegrain. Um, Here is JPCam, which is the camera, the panoramic camera that is installed and that is being offered for the first time to the international community. The main characteristic is that the field of view it's almost the 3 degrees of diameter of the field of view of the telescope, but with gaps. So at the end, the field of view is 14 CCDs, so is 14 CCDs multiplied by the size of the CCDs and vignetted, which is almost 0.5 per 0.5 square degrees. And in total is 3.4 square degrees of the field of view covered and unvignetted to receive the photons from the sky. The pixel scale is, well, here I put them in characteristics, but the pixel scale is 0.22 arc second per pixel. Then there are different readout modes, but well, we will go for the details after, or even in the PDF describing the call for proposals. You can stop me at any point and ask me questions if you like, please. And because the important thing about this is to make this session interactive with you. Well, and here is the real JPCam in the laboratory. Um, so as you already know, we have opened a call for proposals to use or to observe with JPCam. The total time is 200 hours in a period of 1 year, and this time includes all the conditions: dark, very bright, photometric, no photometric, good and bad seeing, and filler programs are very welcome. The period offer is the second semester of 2025 and the first semester of 2026. And this is because it's the first time that we offer JPCam. We offer it in a service mode, so there is no This means that there is no guarantee that if a program is top priority, is not going to move and we cannot observe it for some reason. We are not going to move any program to the next semester. So there is no guarantee to deliver data to the approved or any approved programs. And the reason for that is because we still have, well, what we want is to this telescope and camera was designed to observe a JPAS project. And so it's the first time we observe different projects that where the camera and the telescope is not designed to do that. So we are also, for us is we are going to work and to make our best effort to observe the open time, but we know that we are going to we can find troubles, unexpected troubles that we even may didn't think about. Anyway, uh, we offer all the filters. Now I will explain a little bit more about the filter because it's one of the most important things is the narrow band filters in JPCam. The deadline is 15th of April. Uh, any person in the world can ask for time, so there is no you don't need to be part of any country or whatever. Any place you are, you can ask for the time. It's open to the international community. The proposal should be sent through our portal, or what we call the OAG web portal. The link is here, and the projects will be evaluated by the time allocation committee based on scientific merit. Of course, a technical review is going to happen also because if what you ask or what people ask is not technically feasible, at the end, at the end is not going. The scientific merit doesn't matter if it's not feasible technically. But if you have doubts about the technical feasibility, you can contact us. I will put the email at the last slide, or you can look for my name and ask me directly. The approved programs will start in July 2025. The submission is the only way to submit a proposal is through our web portal, which is this link. Registration is required, and the use of this portal to submit proposals, I think, is easy to use. And a manual is available at user. If you once you have registered at user home, you can see the manual. Or also within this link, I will share the presentation after when I finish. There is a good manual, and also is easy to use the submission. And I'm not going to focus on the use of the proposal submission miss system because what I think is more that doesn't mean that it wouldn't be good, but I will focus on how because what I want for you to take home today is that you understand how we observe with JPCam. At the end, even you may don't want to understand how we observe with JPCam, and you don't need it at the end because the tools we have developed help you to even don't you don't need to understand how we observe with JPCam. But anyway, this is what I what I would like. What I would like is that you understand how we observe with JPCam, and then after that we will see how what you as users or proposers need. If you tell me, well, in 1 week or 2 weeks, we want a talk describing the proposal submission system, we can manage to do that. Okay, but uh, let's wait until the end of this talk. Okay, what make unique JPCam is the filter system, which is composed by 54 narrowband filters, 2 medium band and 3 broadband filters, GR and I. So what is unique is not GR and I, which are in several, well, if not all the telescopes in the world, but the what makes unique JPCam is these 54 narrowband filters. And where here we can see the filter transmission curve. There is no other telescope and wide field telescope where we can observe with these narrowband filters. But one of the problems is that we don't have, you cannot observe with just one filter all the field of view. So what happens is that we have this is JPCam, so this is the filters distribution in JPCam. So we cannot observe with just one filter. For example, I mean, let's go to the H alpha. I don't know where it is, but the rest H alpha. So for example, this one, 6. Okay, this is close to H alpha, no? So let's go. You cannot go to observe with J0660 the whole field of view of JPCam because we just have installed this filter in one CCD from the 14 CCDs of JPCam. So what we do is to observe at the same time with 14 filters. So this is the distribution of tray one. We have 7 trays. So what we do is once you have chosen a tray, for example, tray one, then you observe 14, 14. You have 14 images in different places on the sky with 14 different filters. This can be complex to understand or to plan your observation. You can say, well, I even don't know how to start, but don't worry, it's not that complicated. And then, so this is what we call the narrowband trays are tray 1 to tray 4, because what these trays have in common is that they don't share the same copies of the filters. So each of the CCDs is a different filter, and all of them are narrow band, almost all of them are narrow band. There are two medium band, but anyway, we call them narrow band trays just for simplicity. And then we have 3 more trays composed by broadband filters where you can observe with the whole JPCam. You can observe the same filter. So in this case, you have the 14 images are for the same filter, and it's kind of easier to understand how to observe with JPCam in this case. You just need to cover the gaps and move the JPCam. You don't need to design the pointings. Don't worry. We do that for you uh, with the tools. But it's important for you to understand that if you want narrowband observations, you need to use what we call the narrowband strategy, and we will see after this. Observing modes offered and supported. Well, there are two readout modes that we offer, but one of the modes is for broadband or tray 5, 6, and 7, which is GR and I band. This mode is without binning, so the pixel size is the pixel size of JPCam. And then we have a different mode, which is kind of faster for the readout, and is binned. The binning is 2x2, and this is to observe with the narrow band trays, the tray 1, tray 2, tray 3, and tray 4. This is important. You shouldn't change. Well, if you ask for time, you shouldn't change this. You can ask us the 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 consequences of changing this, but in principle, if you is in principle, this is what we offer. Although you can write us, and then we will see what happened with if you need a different mode with the trade you want. But this is what we offer. Um, Other thing that is supported and is the dithering. So in order to reduce or to obtain optimal data, the supported mode is to do 4 dithers for each exposure, and the dither shift is also defined by us, which is half of the CCD, so it's 0.5 CCD effective size. So it's not the size of the CCD, it's the size of the unvignetted CCD. But anyway, this is defined by us. You don't need to move this number unless you understand the effect of using a different dither pattern. Uh, this is the recommended and supported, and if background subtraction and flux calibration precision are not important, you may change this descent pattern. Even also, if you are an expert in background subtraction to recover faint diffuse patterns. Maybe you also know you can think in crazy dithering pattern, but then you know what you are doing. What we support is this dithering pattern, which is here, and with the size we offer with this size, which is 0.236 degrees. The pointings need to be defined using this tool, and I will explain what is this tool. In fact, I would like to have almost all of the time explaining the tools we have developed. And well, the minimum exposure time is 0.1 second, and the small exposure times less than 10 seconds should be justified, even. And this is something I have not written, but uh, we 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 haven't observed that much with exposure times less than 30 seconds. So please take that in mind. So if the time is less than 30 seconds, it can be done, of course, but we would be in a regime that we haven't tested, and that's the reason we want to open the time also for the first time. But if you use exposure times less than 30 seconds, we haven't tested that much that time. I will make some comments also of what I mean by exposure times, but uh, after the presentation of the for proposals, because the maximum individual exposure time is 300 seconds per dither or of exposure. So this doesn't mean that you cannot observe more time. Yes, doing more exposures or but always, what we support is to do four dithers, and then you can repeat all more four dithers, and then all again four dithers. So always you can do exposures of four dithers as much as you want. So you can observe infinite. But the individual exposure time, the maximum is 300 seconds. So just make more exposures, always a multiple of four. There is no minimum area to ask. Um, this is technically at the end the scientific merit, the scientific panel can, or the time allocation committee can value the area requested. No, if you ask for for very small area, maybe this can be but I don't know. But the committee can evaluate the proposal negatively. I don't know. But technically there is no minimum area. In data products, we will give you raw scientific data, bias, darks, and flat fields. Scientific data reduced in a standard way with our pipelines. It will be delivered, and it will be delivered the flux calibrated data with a precision of less than 1% when the standard supported mode is used. In with this flux calibrated data, you may have to make we will try our best to give you the flash calibrated data, but maybe you have to do some process or to process the data to obtain that. We are not sure still, but at the end, but the important thing is that the flux calibrated data, or you can achieve the precision of the flux calibration is less than uh, about non-standard observations, and if you ask for non-standard observations, that this means different pattern, different pointings, that those that are delivered in the tools we have developed, different filter distribution, no filter at all, or longer exposure times, or different readout modes. Uh, you must obtain our technical approval if you ask for these non-standard observations, and you should put this approval in the technical justification of the proposal. Uh, in this case, any special calibration needed will be charged to the project, and again, if you change the dither pattern, this can affect the quality of the offer data reduction, the flux calibration, and the sky subtraction. So now this is the end of the detail of the call for proposal, the description of the call for proposal. You can go to the PDF, and if you have doubts, ask me. But now I will move to how we observe with JPCam. Remember, JPCam has gaps between its CCDs. It's not contiguous, and it has 14 CCDs that can share the same filter for broadband observations or use different filters in each of the CCDs. So this means that a specific strategy is needed to achieve a contiguous imaging area. The dithering is essential not only for accurate flash calibration, but also for optimal sky background subtraction. And at the end, what we have is two observational strategies. One that we call broadband strategy is the one we use for tray 5, tray 6, tray 6, and tray 7 with GR and I filters, where all 14 CCDs share the same filter. And then we have the narrowband strategy, which is the one used for tray 1, tray 2, tray 3, and tray 4. And what are these strategies? So the narrowband strategy, here the spatial coverage is achieved by observing contiguous pointing but shifting each pointing by the effective ambiente size. So this means, for example, we start here this filter, this 0530 filter. So we put the JPCam here, and then the next pointing, it will be moving this to the just to the next contiguous CCD, and then to the next one, and then so yeah, we move JPCam. Yeah, we shift each pointing just the vignette size of the CCD, and then we have a contiguous imaging of of that part of the sky with one filter, not with all the filters, just with one filter. When for all the filters, but in different places. So different CCDs exhibit varying spatial coverage, although at the end there is a common central area that expands as more pointings are added. At the beginning, we don't have a common area, but as you add more pointings, we at the end we have a common area in the center. This is the narrowband strategy, and the broadband strategy is the default and recommended and supported strategies to observe a specific contiguous area is to observe a set of 4 pointings to fill the gaps. So we move we do 4 pointings to fill the gaps, the horizontal and the vertical gaps. And then when you have filled the gaps, we move the full size of the GPCam if needed, because this already has a lot of area. If you do the 4 pointings to cover the gaps, and then maybe you may don't need more area. But if you need more area, you move the size of JPCam, and then you grow in area contiguously. In both strategies, the dithering is needed, but if you want, you can forget about the dither. You just put the dithering as it is by default, and you don't need to take that into account. Okay, so let's start with the broadband strategy, which is the easiest to understand. This, so, whoop. So this is a video of, well, at the end, you don't need to calculate the pointings. Don't worry. This is just to show you how to grow in area. So let's start here. So here, no quiero parar. Oh, sorry. Here. Oh, ay, no lo puedo. I'm not quick enough. No? Okay. I'm not quick enough. Anyway, I wanted to. A ver. Okay, here. So this is just if you point with the broadband with a broadband tray, this is I band. If you point with the broadband tray with JPCam, what you have is this distribution. But this is because it has already the dithering. Don't worry. And then you need to make you need to make 4 pointings to cover the gaps. And then what you have, if you do these 4 pointings to cover the gaps, at the end you have a contiguous area which is marked by the red line. Inside that line, there is a contiguous area with the depth that you require. So the minimum depth inside that area is the one that you require, and I will explain to you how to estimate the depth of the images with the exposure time calculator. But well, this is to understand for you to understand how you grow in area in this with this strategy. For you don't need to worry about the internal pointings which means the dithers and the covering gaps, you don't need to worry about that. In fact, this for you, the users, this is one pointing. This is just one pointing with the broadband strategy because it's just one pointing of JPCam, and internally we estimate the dithering and the cover and the pointings to cover the gaps. But this for you is one pointing. Um, this is invisible for you. And then if you need to grow more in area, you do two pointings, for example, which is this. And if you need to grow in area, you do more pointing, which are this one. So, and then you can see that with these pointings, you already have 14 square degrees with these 6 pointings with the broadband strategy. Um, what about the narrow band? Oh, so with the narrow band, uh, because you just have one filter, well, you have 14, but for example, let's just consider one filter, which is here the H alpha. If you do a pointing, this already has dithering, but don't worry. This you can forget about dithering if you want, because we do that for you. So these are for pointing, but forget about that. It's one pointing. So at the end, what you have is is this square to the right is the one that covers that part of the sky in H alpha. Then you move contiguously and observe one more pointing, and then you have two pointing or two pointings, and so you have the double of the area in H alpha, and then you move to the third one. Then you just grow, and then at the end, with more and more pointings, what you have is that area covered in H alpha, but just in H alpha. And in fact, this is 100 pointings. So at the end, 100 pointings give you this area in H alpha. But remember that what you have is 14 filters. So this is what you have. In reality, this is what you have. You have observations in different parts of the sky for 14 filters, and then you do the same. You grow. In sorry because of the quality, but so you grow in area doing more and more pointings, and at some point you have a common area for all the filters. In fact, this is the common area is this gray here. It's already being visible. This here is the common area, which is in the center. Um, this area is covered by all the filters. Okay, I hope you're kind of understanding what is happening. You don't need to be able to do that because do you need to calculate the pointage for your project? Yes, but don't worry because you can use this tool that we have developed to define the pointings that will allow you to cover the area you want. At the end, you don't know how to use it, but you can go and read the documentation. If you don't want to read the documentation, don't worry. I think is I think is kind of intuitive to use it because at the end, what are the inputs? The inputs are field prefix, which is a name that of your choice. This is like a label that is going to appear in the files. So it's just a label of your object. If you want to search, for example, um, some galaxy like M63, so you put M63, for example. But so this is your choice. Then you have to put the center of your field. So where you want at the end your observation, where you want to center at. So it's coordinates, right ascension and declination in degrees, and also it can be in hexadecimal. And then you need to give the number of the pointings, which the number of pointings of the grid. So if you at the end if you want to do a mosaic for the broadband is not as much as important as in the narrow band. So here you can just put one by one because JPCam is already large and you will have a very large contiguous area with a one by one mosaic. But anyway, you have to put that number, which we call number of pointings in X and number of pointings in Y, which is number of pointings of the mosaic in right accession and in declination. This is to increase area, not to cover the gaps. You don't need to worry about covering the gaps. In fact, in this case, I just put a 2 by 2 a mosaic in broadband in the tray is tray 5, 6, and 7, which is the broadband. So here you have pointing 1, pointing 2, pointing 3, and pointing 4. It's a 2 by 2 mosaic. Don't worry, internally, each of the pointings has 16 pointings, but you don't need to worry about that. You just need to worry about giving the center, which is here. The center is this blue or cyan point, and then give the, if you want, a 2 by 2 or 1 by 1, 2 by 1, to grow in area around your center, and you don't need anything else. Well, the dithering, in fact, I recommend you to not touch it. So don't please give the dithering as it is. So true and deceived as it is the better for optimal data reduction. And that's all. And choose the trace. This is for broadband strategy. Here in red, it gives you a number which is important. In this case, if I use a 2 by 2 mosaic, so at the end I have 4 pointings. This number is important because it's the one that you have to put in the exposure time calculator that we call GTC because of Javalambre exposure time calculator, and also in the web portal. When you submit your proposal, you have to give the number of the pointings you want to observe in order for the proposal, in order to know the total time of the project that you are asking for. Okay, so this number in red is important. It's the number of pointings. This is what we ask you to put as input in the next steps, the number of pointings. And it's in red here, so I think it's clear. Also, this is in the documentation. At the end, you may think, well, I don't care about anything. What I want is 100 square degrees center at some point, but you don't want to lose time. You don't want to lose time trying the tool. Well, this plot gives you how many pointings you need a square if you use a square mosaic. So doing a 4 by 4 mosaic in the broadband strategy, you cover more or less 100 square degrees. But you say, well, I want 400 square degrees. So then you will need between 8 or 9 by 9 mosaic. So more pointings to cover that area. So this gives you an idea of how many pointings you will need to observe a specific area. But then you also can play with the tool. Of course, you can play with the tool and put the numbers you want. This is just if you are lazy and you don't want to play with the tool. Then the narrowband strategy. The narrowband strategy is a little bit more complex to maybe to visualize because it has 14 different filters each tray. But anyway, we will try. At the end, the inputs are almost are the same. But the difference is that it gives you the opportunity to select and deselect some filters from a tray. So then you can choose tray 1 or tray 2 or tray 3 or tray 4. And then if you can play with all filters are selected by default, but you may don't want a specific filter. You are interested just in 1 or 2 or 3 filters, and you want to check the area in common in those filters. So then you can select only some specific filters. But at the end, what you have is the same. You put the center of the coordinate, which is this blue dot here, and then you just grow in area doing the same. So now you need more pointing. This is a 9 by 9 pointing, so it's 81 points. The total number of pointing is 81. Remember, this is in red and it's important because it's the number you have to put in the tools that in the proposal submission system, but also in the estimation of the total time in the exposure time calculator. What it gives you is, well, here the distribution of the pointings. This is just to visualize, but the important thing is the plot here. So here you can see the common area in gray, in this gray square, and the individual coverage for the filters that you have selected. Okay, and then you may think, well, then I don't know what to do with this. You can download this gray region in DS9 format, and then you can open it, and we will do some example. You can open it in DS9, and also you can download this the other option, the DS9 rec by filter. It downloads you a zip file containing the individual region for each of the filters. Just try it and play and ask us any question you may have. And here we can have some estimations about the coverage depending of the pointing. So now if you do, for example, a 10 by 10, you will have a kind of a 7.5 square degrees in common area for all of the filters using 100 pointings for a 10 by 10 mosaic. You can use this plot to check how many area you will cover depending on the number of or the definition of your mosaic. Okay, once you have defined the pointings, you need to cover the desired area. Then you can check how much time you need to reach the depth you want. And then we have the JPCam Special Time Calculator, or GTC. You don't know how to use it, but then there is help. You can go there and check, read the help. I think it's also intuitive to use it, but here there are also specific things that I need to clarify now, and also in the questions if you have. And we are going to check some cases based on user feedback. Okay. So, I will try to explain the main inputs, which is, the input magnitude in absolute magnitude system, the input band if you want to, what is the band if you where we are going to calculate, for example, the signal to noise ratio if you use it, the reference band for normalization if you input an object and the spectrum of one object, it can be selected from a list. So the normalization is going to be in that band. If empty, the input band is the reference band will be the input band. Then you can check the tray or the filter to estimate the output. Um, no filter open is also available, but it's not supported. If you want to ask observations without filter, you should write as and check for feasibility. The exposure time, this is very important. This time is the sum for all exposures. All exposures, this means, uh, I will explain in the next slide. But the exposure time is the sum of all the exposures. For example, if you do if you do know, you should do a dithering made of 4 exposures. So then the exposure time is the sum of each of the individual exposures. Uh, then you can leave empty the exposure time and just give the desired signal to noise ratio, and then we will give you, or this tool will give you the exposure time, the total exposure time, to obtain that desired signal to noise ratio at that input magnitude. The number of exposures, the supported value is 4 or multiples of 4 for both strategies. This is so 4 or multiple of 4, and this is because you always need to do 4 exposures at least to do 4 dithers. If you want to do this more times, then you need to do 4 dithers and 4 more dithers, which is 8. Or if you need more time, you need to do 12, and so it needs to be a multiple of 4. If you select the standard object, the output information will be per pixel, and the input magnitudes are defined in magnitudes per arc second square. But this is, I think, is common in all the exposure time calculator. Well, the full width half maximum, the binning. This is this is important, but I will mark because it's in the next slide is remarked. The sky brightness. You can select input spectrum for different objects and even upload yours in a Pine-seq font readable format. And also, if your object has a redshift, you can put a redshift. Here, the binning, this is important. Binning factor of the CCD detector, what we support and what you should use is binning 1 for I, G, and R. And you have to put binning 2 for tray 1, tray 2, tray 3, and tray 4. When you do the calculations, please use those factors. Binning 1 for I, G, and R, and binning 2 for the narrow band trays, tray 1, tray 2, tray 3, and tray 4. Please. And as I said, but now it's also important because I have because from the feedback from the users, this was is not very clear, and this is not very common maybe in other ETCs. We may change this in the future, but now it is for historical reasons is as it is, and the all spatial times here in the calculator are defined and as the sum of the individual spatial times. This may change in the future, but now is as it is for historical reasons. So the individual spatial time is equal to the spatial time that you put or its output in the ETC divided by the number of exposures. This means that you can ask for larger exposure times than 300 seconds. It's possible such that individual exposure times are less or equal than 300 seconds. Okay, but you can put there 2400 seconds, but then no, you because the individual exposure time is going to be that number that you put divided by the number of exposures. Here I show an example, and we will check some examples if we have time. So, for example, with a input magnitude for 22 in this input band, this is if we observe the exposure time is 240 seconds divided in 4 exposures, which is the dithering. Uh, Meaning, well, this is wrong. This is wrong because what I put here meaning one, and this should not be possible. Okay, here I did a mistake. This should be meaning two. My bad. But anyway, this is the output. Although you cannot ask for this. Okay, well you can, but you have to ask for feasibility. Um, Okay, but this would be the output for a aperture of 3 arc seconds of diameter. These are the counts. This is the signal to noise ratio, depending on the filters that you have selected here. And this is, well, and the input, it has been a spectrum of a SC galaxy. And here, well, you have well, the normal, no, then the expected outputs of a exposure time calculator. Also, then once you have the number of pointings and the exposure time and the number of exposures to obtain that exposure time, you can use the project total time, which is also in the same page but at the bottom. So the n points is the total number of pointings, the one in red in the JPCam observing planner tool for each tray. And next time is the total exposure time. So I remember it's the sum or is the sum of the individual exposure times. And number of exposure is the number of exposure to take in tray E. So you fill this information and then you put the calculate total time and you can check the total time of your project. Important, the individual exposure time, which is not the one to be input, will be individual exposure time is the exposure time divided by the number of exposures. The one to input and use in the GTC is the total exposure time. So the sum of each individual exposures. This can be this has caused some confusion, but this for this reason we also have this live session. If you want to check uh, how to plan a specific observation, there is an example here in this web page. So it's an example case to observe M101 with the JPass strategy. You can go there and read, but I prefer in this case I prefer to use other. I mean, because this case to observe M101 is already there, is available for you, but we can check other cases here with you based on other interest from the users. And this is the summary. So there is the open time call for proposals to observe with JPCam at the Hubble Observatory Telescope is already released. JPCam with the large field of view and combined with the filter system is unique. So we expect that is interesting for the international community and for you to ask for time. The observations will be executed during 1 year. 200 hours will be dedicated to this open time project. There are two observing tools available: the pointing planner and the spatial time calculator. They are there in the OAJ web portal. The default dithering pattern mode and pointing recommended and supported. All the filters are offered, and well, you can check, you can see more info and submission here, and the call for proposal details here. Remember, the deadline is 15th of April. And if you have questions, need help, you can email us. And now you can, well, we have time for questions, but also I have here, if you have time, I have here two examples based on some cases that people have sent me. So I would like to do a practical use of the tools to try to observe these two the Hercules cluster and also the Galactic Center. So these are two examples based on user feedback that I would like to show to you as a practical example of using the tools that we have developed. But before that, if you have questions, you can ask now before going to the practical session. So, okay, yeah, you can speak because we are, well, because Simon, you can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Javier. Thank you. So many details. I need to watch this talk again and again.
Well, you can
Many
ask,
details.
but
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. One question that just came to my mind in the very last minute, you showed an example towards the galactic center. So how is the reddening? How do you deal with the reddening in the reduction? Because is it a differential reduction related to the JPass reduction and calibration? Because of the extinction is different, of course. So how
yeah,
is
no,
it
well,
considered?
no, in this case, I don't, I even don't know how to respond. We I guess we are not going to give the flags calibration with the red or the red by the no by extinction. So no, we will give. So the work to correct for galactic extinction will be done
Okay,
by the proposers team. I really don't know how to deal with. Well,
okay,
I guess,
okay.
but no. Okay.
Okay, because yesterday we had a small group discussing one possible project, and then we said, "Oh, hey, we have to avoid the galactic center," but it was not clear for us that it's possible to observe the galactic center. Of course, we have to deal with the reddening correction after. Okay, I understand this.
But
Okay,
but
okay,
but
great.
but well, and also, I mean, this is not. I mean, this is something that someone sent me. Like, well, just I mean, these are examples. I really don't know.
Okay,
If technical, this will be technically feasible, but maybe at the end, I mean, I don't know if it's if it's possible to obtain the photometer.
okay, okay.
Okay. More
Hi.
questions?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
And Franz Jimenez, I have one question about the proprietary time.
Okay. Yeah.
So how long it will be?
I think it's written in the call for proposals. Sorry for not including this here, but it's 1 year.
1 year. Okay.
Yeah. But well, this also, I mean, this can be flexible. This is not written in stone.
Okay.
But I mean, this is kind of the standard. So minimum 1 year. But I mean, we are sometimes even we can be flexible. So this shouldn't be a problem. I mean,
Okay. Thank you.
I have another question.
okay.
So you mentioned you showed the filters, the distribution of the filters in the filter trace.
Yeah.
And is it possible? I understand we cannot move it, we cannot change it, but is it possible to observe only, for example, tray 1 to 4, but not to observe trays 5, 6, 7? Is it possible to do it?
Yes, yes, you can just observe, you
Avoid
can try
the broad. Okay.
with just tray 5 or just tray 3. And the distribution of the filters cannot be changed, but in fact,
Okay.
I put, I think, I put here an asterisk.
Mhm.
Well, if there is someone that has a very powerful motive to change the distribution of the filters, this is something that we we can deal. I mean, we are not offering, but it's possible. So what I mean is, if you just want to change the distribution of the filters because I don't know for some minor reason, then we are not going to do that. But if there is a strong reason uh, to change the distribution of the filters in with a strong case, scientific case, we are able maybe to do oh, I don't know, a personalizable, like your own tray. But remember that we just have one copy of the filter, so you cannot put all, for example, 14 copies of this filter. No, no. What you can change is the distribution, just if you have a strong scientific case. But always you should contact us to check if this is feasible, and you need to justify it very well. And before submission, so if you are thinking about this, you should write us as soon as possible. But in principle, we are not offering. It's just something that is possible, but officially we are not offering it. I don't know if I'm
Okay.
explaining myself.
Okay. Oh, I was just thinking that maybe, for example, if we're not interested in the broadband and then
Yeah,
we're all to focus only
yeah,
on the narrowband filters, is it possible
yeah,
to observe only with the broadband,
yeah,
the narrowband? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, one thing that you can do even is just to even just using one tray and then just even four filters, for example, or one filter,
Okay.
or one filter in that way. We are going to observe it in all of them, but
Okay.
what you can check the common area for
Mhm.
just four filters, for example, and then
Mhm.
if your scientific case is based on just four filters, for example, it's possible to check the common area. Uh,
Okay.
More questions? Okay. We have more time. I mean, the if you have to leave. This is being recorded. But now I would like to use, or I would like to do these examples using the tools. So well, let's do that. So the first example is to observe, and you can stop me when you want, please. And this is, and you can do this also at the same time as me, as you like. If we want to observe, for example, the Hercules cluster, this is example from Stefano Saratini, which is here also in this session. So if we want to observe Hercules cluster, so what you need is to know the the central coordinates. Then, well, the magnitude limit you want, or the depth you want, which is here, for example, no 23 magnitudes per arc second square, because this extended object. And well, let's say we want a signal to noise ratio of 5 per pixel. And in this filter, in the 390 filter, the full Wiham maximum is 1 arc second. We ask for dark sky. The input spectrum, I put elliptical galaxy, and the receive this. So wait, let me, okay. Okay. So I put here Hercules. uh, well, I'm going to change this to, well, no, because you need to check. Okay. Eh, well, you can put also the coordinates in this format with dots, with two column. Okay. And the declination. Okay. And well, let's start with the okay, but this is the pointing. Sorry. Well, let's start with the GTC. So the GTC is 20. So we put 23 extended aperture. Okay, extended object. let's put the filter at that this is 390. Okay, the exposure. So we want exposure. You have to empty the exposure time field to be able to write in signal to noise ratio. So we put 5 and see when let's and the observation with tray 1, tray 3, and tray 4. And binning, remember binning 2. If you use these trays, the binning is 2. And what more? But for this is mandatory. Okay. For this is mandatory. Number of exposure 4. And that's all. Yeah, we just have 12. And we can check galaxies here and choose elliptical one. And that's all. Calculate. Okay, and then this is what we have. So what we have is a signal to noise ratio from 5 to even 30 in the reddest filters. And what we have, if I didn't do anything wrong, is 3 or almost 400 seconds. Almost 400 seconds of exposure time. I'm looking at this because yesterday I did and it gave me 402 seconds. And I think it's the same as I put yesterday, but well, I may change the reference band, the input or the input one. I may put a different. Yesterday I may put a different one. But anyway, 400. So I guess that yesterday I just used a different a different input band, and then the estimations are done in a different wavelength. But that's all. But anyway, the exposure time is very similar. No, is because this time this 400 seconds. It depends on the input band. If you put a different band, then the calculation is going to be done in a different band. So you put calculate here, well, and then it gives you a different number. So please remember. Let's put, for example, this one, just to check if. Okay. So these numbers change depending on the input band. Let's put this one. Okay. Yeah, I know. Now I understand. I forgot to put the receipt, which is 0.036. Now, now it's the same. So this is, well, it's not important because it's just 3 seconds, so it's going to be, the difference is going to be very low. But well, this is the reason I didn't put the receipt. So at the end, is the same value, 402 seconds. You need 402 seconds to observe it divided in 4 exposures. So remember, this means that individual exposures are 100.5 seconds. And so there is no problem with the maximum individual exposure time. Okay, now we have the depth that we want. With 400 seconds, we reach 23 magnitudes per square arc seconds. We reach a signal to noise ratio of 5 in the input band per pixel, which is a binned pixel, so it's a 2x2 pixel. Okay. So now that we know the exposure time, which is 400 seconds, also let's, Stefano told me, well, I want to observe 1.5 square degrees. And if you go to this plot, which is in the documentation, also in this presentation, to have a 1.5 square arc second contiguous area in the narrow band, you need more or less a 7x7 mosaic. Okay, this you need a 7. A 6 is very low. So let's go to the observing planner. You put your name here. You can put the name you want. I put Hercules because the object name is Hercules. So you put the coordinates. You can put it also just in decimal. We can check the common area in the narrowband trace. Remember that at the end, the common area is going to be the same in tray 1, tray 4, tray 3, and tray 4. So we just, if you want to observe with the tray 4s, okay. But the common area is going to be the same on the sky because the pointings are going to be the same. So I like to not use the official colors because it's easier. And then we said that we are going to do a 7 by 7. So let's 7 by 7. 7 by 7, okay, is for 49 pointings in total. The reason we leave the other parameters this way. And okay. And so here is the pointing. Well, what this observation gives you is this area in common here and also the individual area, for each of the filter. So you just need to know how many pointings you want uh, to uh, to cover some specific area and give the central coordinates. It's not that difficult. Then you have the list of pointings in CSV. You don't need this in this proposal, and unless you want to play with them. You don't need for the proposal. You don't need to download the CSV for pointing or the pointings in CSV. If you want to watch them, this will be needed in the phase 2 for the approved proposals. What is useful for you maybe is the DS9 rec file. So you can download this region here in DS9 format. So you download it. The name will be depends on the prefix here, and also you can download the individual regions here in a zip format. Well, do that if you want, and if you have trouble, just send us an email, please. I download the DS9 ref file, and the good things you can do is this one. No? So here you have the file. So you can have your fixed image from the survey you want or the telescope you want. I have here a image of the cluster of the Hercules cluster, and then what you can do is to load the region on your fixed images and to check where are going to be your the observations in common for all the filters. So they will be inside this square with the depth that you want from the exposure time calculator. So at the end, you can check, well, you are maybe interested, for example, you're interested, no, but I want this. I don't know if this is a galaxy or a star because you cannot, the resolution is not, but I'm interested in this object. Okay, it's inside, perfect. Oh, but I lose this object here. Oh, now I need more. I need more pointings. Okay, you add more pointings. Okay, and that's all. Um, that's well. These are the tools that you can use to check and to plan your observations with JPCam. And at the end, this is 1.53 square degrees in total. You also can say, okay, but I don't want the Ujaba, I don't want all the filters. I just want, for example, these three filters, just as an example. Then what is the common area for these three filters? So you can compute, and this will give you the area. So and now you have more area but just in three filters. You have 5 square degrees covered by these three filters, but not the rest. So if your scientific case just need some specific filters, you can check the area covered by those specific filters, and then also you can check with tray 4, or tray 2 or whatever, and then you can check also in this case Stefano didn't want to observe with the broadband trace, but if you want, it's very easy to define the pointings. It's just you choose the tray 5, 6, or 7 in this case, because it's just one filter. You cannot select or deselect the filters, but then, for example, you can say, okay, I want to do just one pointing. You compute. No, and you have already 6 square degrees with one pointing in the broadband trace, the tray 5, 6, and 7, you have already 6 square degrees. But why? Because you have 14 copies of the same filter. So it's easier to cover the area in this strategy. Internally, it has 17 pointings, but forget about that. It's just for you, this is one pointing of JPCam for the user, okay? And this red line here contains points that has at least the depth that is defined in the exposure time calculator with 4 exposure, because here you have put dither yes, so it has 4 exposures. Outside it has less depth, and also inside it has there are some points that, because you have observed with more places to cover the gaps, there are places with more. So at the end, the depth is if it's not homogeneous. You are going to have more depth, but within the red line, at least you will have the depth that is required in the exposure time calculator, with 4 dithers and covering the gaps. But you can forget about that. You don't need to understand the strategies. I would like you to understand it, but if you don't, you just, at the end, what you have is play with this tool and check the common area that you that you will cover, and check if your objects are where no, where the observation is defined. That's all. Well, that's all. No. Any questions using this? No. Okay. If using this you have some trouble, please send us an email. Again, here you can download the red file also for the broadband, and again you can uh, you can in this case, yes,
Javier, I have a question.
yes, Borja, go ahead.
Well, first, thanks for explaining all this. Very, very nice from you. Yeah, I have a question regarding the exposure time calculator.
Okay.
I'm a bit confused about the input band and the reference band,
Okay.
because I see that if I keep the magnitude, I keep the exposure time, I keep the number of exposure, but I change the input band, the
Yes.
signal to noise changes drastically.
Okay, let's check what, because this depends on, I guess that if we change the signal to noise ratio, is because this is this way, and this is, for example, this you put, for example, 240. Okay, and then you say that the signal to noise ratio it change if you change the input band. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and giving maybe okay. Let's put this here. Okay, I'm going to do okay. Yes, here we have this, and then the input bank is 23, and this means that the estimation of the, so in principle, if I'm not wrong, but maybe I'm wrong or I did something wrong. So in principle, changing this shouldn't change anything. Okay, let's. Exactly. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change. And if you change the input band, as far as I'm checking, it doesn't change. So Borja, what are you saying that is changing?
Yeah, well, I just left the reference band empty, and it's saying that if empty, the input band is used.
Okay, that's true. And then I understand. Okay, yes. Then okay, if the reference band is empty, then the reference band is going to be the input band. So if you change the input band, okay, sorry for the confusion,
No.
but this is useful for this. So if you change the input band, you are changing the reference, so the normalization. So what if I change the input band here, what I'm changing is so now I'm saying, okay, I want to observe an object, which is, well, in this case, elliptical galaxy, but whatever, which has a magnitude of 23 in this band.
Okay.
So if you change the band, what we are saying is, okay, now the magnitude is going to be 23, but in this wavelength, in this
Okay.
band. So that's the reason that that is changing.
Okay.
What it moves, in fact, is the input object.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So, and then if you can, sorry for the confusion, is when you have a 44 narrowband filters, well, and you can have this. And suggestions are welcome, not for this occasion, but for the next occasion of open time. Okay. So
All
then,
right. Thank you, Javier.
if you want to normalize in a different band, you just can. No, the input band is here, and then, in fact, the input band is only useful when you want to to obtain a exposure time for a specific signals to noise ratio. Then this calculation is going to be in the input band. Is the only case I think is interesting to use the input band. And also to use it as a normalization. But thank you, Borja, for your question. Any more questions?
Yes, I have a question. Do we know at what magnitude saturates the image?
This depends. This depends on the. This is a problem. This depends on the filter. No. No. I guess this can be done also with the counts per pixel. If you see that is too high, it's going to saturate. Like, for example, I wouldn't go with counts per pixel larger than, I don't know, 20,000. This would be very,
Okay.
very.
Okay, at least to have a reference value for that.
Okay. No, maybe we have it, but the problem is that but I mean, it's a good question. It's a very valid question. The problem with this is that maybe it's more, well, the data processing department is the one that, I mean, if you are interested, I ask you to ask or to send us an email, because this is something maybe we can answer, but not me. So
Okay.
send us an email, please, and we will try our best.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Then more questions? If not, I mean, remember that then you can also upload here the broadband, the broadband area covers a larger area. So this is Hercules cluster, and then we have a larger area. And then, well, one thing that we didn't do is, okay, what is the project total time? So remember here, Stefano Salatini to observe the uh, Hercules cluster. So he needs 49 pointings, remember, 49 with, 402 seconds in 4 exposures, 4 dithers, which are exposures. If you want to have more depth, you can put more time here. If you want to repeat this twice, for example, you can put 804 and then 8, for example. No, this is repeating the 4 dithers twice, for example. But anyway, let's put what he wants, which is 402 seconds in 4 exposures. Then the same in tray 2 is 4 and 2 and 4. The same in tray 3 and the same in tray 4 is 449, 402, and 4. And then here you can estimate the total amount of time for this project, which is 33 hours to observe this project. 1.4 square degrees, or within the Hercules cluster with all the narrow band filters. You may think, well, I want also to observe it with the G band with one pointing, because you saw that with one pointing it was enough to cover all the area. And then you say, well, I want to go very deep. we go with 480, and then in 16 exposures, in 4 dithers, repeated 4 times. Then adding, this is for you to understand that adding broadband, it doesn't take very long time. So in fact, the observing with broadband with this telescope and this camera is very quick, but then you just have one filter. And of course, there are a lot of instruments in the world that allow you to do this. What is unique is the narrowband. So this is your decision, going for narrowband, how many filters, for broadband, which filters, and of course, observing with one filter, it takes it takes a small amount of time, adding just G-band or some broadband filter. And that's all I wanted to say. I hope this has been useful. And I don't want to take more time from you. I don't know if you have more questions using these tools while we have been talking. No? Okay. No more questions?
Yeah, are you planning to make your presentation available?
Yes, in fact, sorry, I forgot. Let's I will put the link here in the chat. I don't like to spam all the people, but well, anyway, I put the link here.
This is a good spam, Javier, no worries.
Okay, yeah, but a good spam for you. But anyway, what I'm going to do is to put here in the chat. Where is the chat? Okay, the chat is here. And well, I will send an email with maybe with the link, with the PDF, and also with the YouTube link. But where is the chat? We should have a chat. Okay, but here is the link. What I will share is the PDF without movies. Okay. Okay. Okay, I will. So this is the presentation, but I will send. I don't know when. The link to the YouTube to the presentation, and please send us emails to the support email, and this is here. But also you can look for me for my email, or well, if you are close, if you are in CEFCA like Borja or Stefano, you can ask me directly in my office, but also you can send me an email or an email to the support official support email. And this is important in case, for example, about the saturation question. Maybe in this email there is already someone that knows how to reply to you about when we expect to saturate. So if it's a question about the tools we have seen, maybe you can ask me directly. But if it's a question related with, for example, the proposal submission system, you should write here because there are other people involved. I'm not the only one building this. So this email is more general and it's easy. It will be easier for you to have a good response or answer if you write to this email, because there are more people involved in all of the, not only me. Okay, if this is everything, we should finish here, and please well, send proposals for this call, and good luck preparing the proposals.
Thank you, Javier.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Javier.
You are welcome. Bye-bye.
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 Gracias.
Luego, gracias.
Adiós, adiós.